Hey guys, so we're back with Mail Order Soulmate. We left off on page 187. So I'm recording from my iPhone. So let's get started. We only just arrived, and Xavier has been so colicky, Catherine said. Really don't need something so soon. Please don't put yourself out to arrange it so quickly. Both women were sizing her up again, eyes narrowed. Honey, this is Blueberry Springs, Liz said. It's what we do. Nobody gets married around here with a notice or a party, Mary Alice said, gesturing to the room full of people. We're already married, Catherine said carefully. And did you have a bridal shower back home? I heard you arrived with nothing more than that diaper bag and a backpack, Mary Alice said with a look. Right, Catherine said seriously. I see your point. I simply don't want to overstep or cause anyone undue stress with organizing something under such a tight deadline. Both women gave a hum as if she'd insulted their ability to throw something of this magnitude together in short order. Marriages, births, and deaths are the biggest things to happen to our citizens, and we're all about celebrating milestones and welcoming newcomers, Liz said pointedly. She repeated carefully, It's what we do. Mary Alice locked her gaze with Catherine's, then reached into her blouse and pulled out what looked like a small tin. She opened it and offered it to her, never once breaking eye contact. She was smiling pleasantly enough, but it was clear this woman and her sister were the alpha females in town, possibly even the alpha everything, bears included. The woman rattled the can, and the room seemed to grow a little quieter. She asked mildly, Mint? That would be lovely, Catherine said. She'd had worse from the bosom of her late grandmother. This was at least in a sealed tin. The people around them were silent as Mary Alice shook a mint into Catherine's outstretched palm. She promptly placed it in her mouth with a smile. Thank you. Bless her heart, someone murmured behind her, after which the room started buzzing again as chatter returned to its earlier levels. Keep that Saturday free, dear, Mary Alice said. We're going to throw you to a reception. Zach flopped into his computer chair and let out a deep sigh. Well, that party has been something. The kindness and genuine honesty has been a great welcome for Catherine, although definitely over the top. The poor woman hadn't been in town for more than a day, and they already was surprising her with a shindig. But what had really thrown him was Catherine's fear over having her photo taken. That set off mental alarm bells and caused his aged senses to go on high alert. She said she had a stalker she was hiding. He wanted to find out who it was and strangled the guy for causing her to fear having a normal life. But despite the surprise of the party being for them and then the panic over the photo, she stayed at the event, had faced the town's biggest gossips and won them over. Except now they were having more parties to celebrate their platonic, championable union. He really hated those two descriptions. Then again, he supposed the town threw parties for couples everyone knew wouldn't last a year. This wasn't that different, although he hoped this marriage would last longer than 12 months. It had been only a day and a half so far, but he already loved having Catherine and Xavier in his life, and knew that if they left, his world would feel empty and lacking in purpose. He stared at his computer screen. Catherine and Xavier had turned in for the night after what he and Catherine had dubbed the Battle of the Bath. It had been a wet one involving both of them, one very slippery infant in a poorly designed baby bath that he vowed they would never use again. Zach had come into his office to do something, but he couldn't recall what it was. How long before Catherine was ready for Xavier to have his own little room and its upstairs office became a nursery? Zach shook his head, somewhat amused by his thoughts and new situation. A baby's bedroom? He hadn't seen that coming when he bought the house last year. It felt right, though. and he spun in his chair, imagining the space, the little touches he and Catherine would add. Well, he hoped she would allow him to add touches such as a giant plush giraffe standing in the corner, one big enough for Xavier to climb when he was older. Although maybe that wasn't safe. Maybe an animal closer to the ground, such as a giant panda would be better suited for play. He began looking for teddy bears online, then realized he should really be ordering a laptop for Catherine to work on when she was ready to straighten out the business accounting. Zach paused in his typing and leaned back in his chair. He was keeping her, wasn't he? Already taking off the training wheels, letting her in, giving her a job, despite the reservations he had earlier in the day. She won him over, and why not? She was strong as heck, smart, good with difficult people, and the two of them connected. He thought of the moment in the car where they almost kissed, and how protective he felt when everyone had yelled surprise at the party, scaring her. That had been the worst part. Not his own shock, but seeing her frightened. Then her panic at the idea of having a photo been taken. He began mulling that over again. A stalker. As he allowed his mind to roll the problem over like a stone, he came up with the truth he felt, all the way down to his toes. She was hiding because the stalker was not your run-to of the meal guy with a crush. He scared her, maybe even enough to send her here to Blueberry Springs and marry a man she didn't know. That was a lot of fear. He twisted his chair to the left and snugged his phone back off his desk, then texted Ethan Mason, the one man in town who just might match some of his skills when it came to the tech world. Hey man, how good is facial recognition these days on social media? Ethan replied. Heard you got married. Worried she's going to find photos of you doing something stupid? Zach paused. Now that Ethan mentioned it. Nope. Work reasons only. Zach popped over to a website that sold toys while he waited for Ethan to reply. He selected a stuffed giraffe for his cart, just a small one, then added a big fat hippo as well. I heard you're having a bachelor's party, came Ethan's reply. Nope. He's in her wedding shower. Nope. You're not going to escape the town, you know that. I heard she already said yes. Yeah, why did she say yes? Not just to him, but to a reception, to a shower. He tapped his reply, mulled it over, then hit send. I'm busy that day. Which day? Whichever one they planned for. They've caught you by surprise once already. Zach grumbled on his breath. That they had, and he hadn't liked it. Neither had Catherine, which made him like her all the more. The way she stuck to his side had warmed him from the inside out. Had she said yes to the party simply to get town off their backs? Maybe she had a plan to keep putting off the reception until it never happened. That's what they had done if he'd been thinking. They've already hired Lily to make sandwiches, Ethan texted. They moved fast. Zach had to give them that. Lock everything in early so there'd be no ducking out.